Ladies and gentlemen, I can't say that I am shocked. Daily Mail reports, breaking news. Biden admits he, quote, almost fell asleep on stage as he makes laughable excuse for his disastrous debate against Donald Trump. When we were doing story production before the show, I didn't believe this. I was like, wait, what? When did that happen? Biden admitted he almost fell asleep? Wow.
No, he did at a fundraiser, like literally an hour before the show started, because I saw it. He was, talking, his handlers, didn't have control of him. And he went over and said something to some people about how, and the reason he's saying that he almost fell asleep on stage was because he had been traveling for around the world right before the debate, but that's not even true. I mean, the man forgot that he was on a 7-day vacation where he didn't wake up until 11 in the morning and had to take an afternoon nap. I don't know if you guys saw that story earlier as well. That was in the New York Times saying that. That's not some right-wing outlet that came out with that. The New York Times is saying that.
Because the New York Times, is, from what I know about it, was saying that his family is starting to blame his support staff around him, that they did not prepare him well enough. I mean, I think the other part is we have to look at this word admitted. I think they're trying to now roll out the latest excuse as to why Biden was not so good. Oh, he was tired because he was traveling. That makes you look not strong as a president. Right. Today in her press conference, Corinne Jean-Pierre said, oh, well, as you know, he had a cold and that's why his voice was gruff. It's just lie after lie to present these excuses, hoping that you will be sympathetic to him. I'm not sympathetic to someone who's currently the president of the United States who thinks that they're going to fall asleep on stage. And that's why they are bad at what they're doing, and saying that it was a complete lie. No Americans died on their watch, when we know very basically that 13 Marines did in Afghanistan. I think all the Americans should be insulted by this.
Well, this is a horrible excuse, especially because there was just that story that came out last week that Biden is only, coherent between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. This just reinforces that, as the debate was at, 9 o'clock in the evening. It was within 5 minutes of the debate starting where everybody, you looked at X and everybody was saying the same thing. The drugs aren't working. He's asleep on stage, and this was not I don't think this was an approved statement by the Biden team.
It sounds like a dig, like an underhanded attempted dig by Biden. If he was a young, spry guy, he's like, I was so bored by Trump and the moderators that I was falling asleep. Then he'd be like, ooh, zing, he got him. But because he's so old and prone to fall asleep in the middle of his conversations, it's not funny.
Right.
It's terrifying, actually.
Especially because there are reports of him falling asleep in other important meetings, right? This is something that we now expect from him. I'm sorry, if you're falling asleep while literally taping, I would never be able to fall asleep in the middle of this.
No.
You need to exit. That's not good.
I think that journalists are so stupid that Democrats are doing all this on purpose. Because you had the press briefing where journalists finally started asking questions about this. One asked whether or not Biden was suffering from dementia. Mm-hmm. But these journalists are they're such low IQ people. I'm sure if you asked them, how would they have felt if they did not have breakfast yesterday, they'd act confused. They'd generally be confused. And so when they ask these questions, it seems like it's questions Democrats actually want asked, because now is the time they're making the move to replace Joe Biden.
Right. So it almost seems like all of these hit pieces that came out this weekend, it's not because these journalists actually care about the good of the country. They care about winning the election in November, and they know that Joe Biden can't do it. So they have to replace him. They have to come out with all of these hit pieces right now and topple him, because they got to put somebody else in there. The question is, who? Can you go around Kamala?
No, I don't think you can.